Here we have AP calculus AP problem, that is limit x approaches infinity 5x squared positive 4 over square root of 4 times x to the fourth power positive 5x. Okay, now let's evaluate the given limit. So limit x approaches infinity. So whenever in a limit x approaches infinity, what I have to do is I have to factor the variable x with the largest exponent from the expression in numerator. So in the expression in numerator, the variable x with the largest exponent is x squared. So we have to factor x square out. So if I factor x square out to get the stuff inside the parenthesis, what I have to do is I have to divide so the terms of the expression numerator by the one I factor out. So then I have to divide the first term 5x square by the one I factor out, that is x square positive 4 over x square. So the same thing we have to do in numerator as well. That is in numerator we have square root. Inside the square root we have an expression. So the variable with the largest exponent in this expression is x to the fourth power, that has to be factored out. Actually, we have to do this process whenever the variable x approaches the limit infinity. Okay, now let me factor x to the fourth power out from the expression we have in denominator, I mean inside the square root. So when I factor x to the fourth power out to get the stuff inside the parenthesis, I have to divide the terms of the expression over here by the one I factor out. Then I'm getting 4 times x to the fourth power divided by x to the fourth power positive 5x divided by x to the fourth power. Okay, so then we get limit x approaches infinity. We have x square times, so here this x square and x square will cancel. I'm just getting 5 positive 4 over x square divided by, when I simplify this x to the fourth power, here we have x to the fourth power inside the square root. So when it comes out, it will become x square, because whenever we have x to the fourth power inside the square root, it can be written as x square times x square. That is x to the fourth power can be written as a product of x square and x square. When for every two same quantities multiplied inside the square root, one quantity will come out, so we just get x square. So square root of x to the fourth power equals to x square. So that's what I have done over here. That is square root of x to the fourth power is just x square, and inside the square root, so this x to the fourth power, x to the fourth power will cancel out. I'm getting 4 positive, and when I divide this x over x to the fourth power, I'll be getting x cube in denominator, and we still have 5 in numerator. That is 5 over x cube. Okay, now this x square and x square can be cancelled. Then I'm getting limit x tends to infinity 5 positive 4 over x square divided by square root of 4 positive 5 over x cube. Okay, now we have completed the simplification process. Now what we can do is we can substitute the given limit for x. That is, we have to plug in this infinity for the x over here and here. So when I plug in the given limit infinity for x over here, what will happen? I'll be getting infinity square. So what is infinity actually? Infinity is a very large positive value. Actually, it is a positive infinity because we don't have any sign in front of the infinity. So I have to assume there is a positive infinity. So we take square for a very large positive value. When a very large positive value is squared, what will be the result? Again, we'll be getting a very large positive value, so that is infinity. And the same reason we'll have for infinity cube. That is, infinity cube means we have a very large positive value. When it is raised to the power of 3, again we'll be getting a very large positive value, that is also infinity. So now let me continue the next step. 5 positive, so 4 over, when I plug in infinity for this x, it will become infinity square. Infinity square is still infinity over square root of 4 positive 5 over, so the same thing, when I plug in the given limit infinity for x over here, it will become infinity cube. Infinity cube is still infinity. Okay, so 5 positive. Okay, here I divide a finite value 4 by a very large positive value. Whenever I divide a finite value by a very large positive value infinity, it will result 0. So square root of 4 positive, the same reason. Here I divide a finite value 5 by a very large positive value infinity, so it will result 0. Okay, so 5 positive 0 is just 5 over square root of 4. Then 5 over, we know that the square root of 4 is just 2. So the evaluation of the given limit equals to 5 over 2.